All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're ready. Welcome to the American Fork City Council meeting this evening. It's Tuesday, June 9th, the year 2026. It is 7 p.m. and we are currently met in the capacity of the American Fork City Council. It's not often we get our chambers full, so it's nice to see people. We're going to begin with a public hearing, actually on 3 different items. We'll just take them in the order that's on the agenda. So item number 1 in the public hearing, we're here to receive public comment on the American Fork City fiscal year 2027 interim budget from July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027. This budget includes a proposed property tax increase. Okay, so I have items that I can read from when it comes to the public comment in the regular session. If what you have to say is directed more towards the budget, I think it would be more appropriate to come up at this time and to talk budget. And if you're on this list, I'll just kind of check it off, okay? So, have you come forward, we'd ask 2 minutes, okay? And then if you just state your name for the public record, even though we might know who you are.
Yes, my name's Mark Walker, and just as a little bit of background, I do have over 25 years in engineering technology development and integration, 10 years in construction and land development, and over 10 years in being a city councilman, planning commission, board of adjustments, and multiple government-sponsored commissions, committees, and programs. In my experience as a developer and general contractor, 100% of the impacted infrastructure to be used as existing or developed as new was paid by the developer and their investors and owners. I have noted recently, the last couple of years, there's an item that's going on that I think is a huge impact to this city, and it would be the lakeside, the southwest side of the city. Specifically, a couple of years ago, the city bonded for $20 million for the initial development of the improvement down there. I believe it was $20 million was bonded. It ended up being over $22 million, and from what I understand, about $780,000 or $870,000 is being brought over to this current fiscal year. I understand that it is being paid for, like most things of this nature, through RDA funds. It is my recommendation that a moratorium be placed on development until we can get a percentage of the impact fees paid by the developer and their owners and investors, or and accelerating the RDA return. I know that can happen. I just don't know how it's going to happen without some thought into it, but I know it can happen. I also recommend that we have a moratorium until planning is completed and held to and approved. Will in fact have a positive impact on everyone else here. You're looking for recreation.
Thank you, Mark. I'd like to state that just during public hearings and public comments as a council As senior staff, we're here to listen, not to engage, but we do want to hear everything you have to say. So thank you, Mark. Anybody else would like to make public comment in regards to the budget? Come forward, state your name.
Mayor Frost, council members, thank you for your service to the community. First of all, my name is Joseph Call. I've lived in American Fork for 7 years and probably many more to come. Got my wife and 3 boys here, 3 young boys. And also for the record, I know this cuts into my time, but I did just want to say that I support the police department and thank you for your service, PD and fire department. Regarding the budget, $4 million is earmarked for fitness center improvements. I understand the 33-year-old facility has needs, but my ask is that we can consider putting that $4 million towards a renovation or towards a new facility instead. With the city projecting a population build-out of around 80,000 by 2041, the need for a modernized fitness center is only going to grow. The fitness center serves not only American Fork, but the entirety of northeastern Utah County, which is a great opportunity for us to capture. Last I heard, the Parks and Rec Committee unanimously supports a new fitness center, and this is regularly near the top of priorities in the yearly city survey, as you know. I love running. I would never run on that fitness center track. Just looking at it hurts my ligaments. And I also captain a rec basketball team every year for the last 5 years, and sponsored by an American Fork business. And we have to commute down to Provo. That's the best option for us for a rec basketball league right now. I recognize there's many competing priorities for the budget, and I propose that we design a new facility that meets the needs of residents and locals with modernization, function, programming, and appeal in a way that it becomes financially self-sustaining, unlike our current facility. $4 million is better suited towards a new fitness center, in my opinion, than on repairs of an antiquated one. And I would absolutely vote yes on a bond for a new fitness center. Thank you.
Thank you for those comments.
Hello, my name is Michelle Anderson. I've never been to one of these before, but my heart is I'm very angry right now because of the $4 million budget that we have. I was told today by our superintendent it was $4,000 for the record. But I'm here to stick up for all of the children that come here. I work in the daycare, okay? And I see the magical little faces of the children who are going from daycare so their mom could work out over to gymnastics. They got their new leotard. They got their itty-bitty shirts on. They're going to preschool and they've got their backpacks already. You cannot cut these programs. I don't care what the city needs, but we can't cut these needs. What are moms going to do? I want to know what moms are going to do without these programs. I love this city. I love this rec center. It is a place where moms of all sizes can go and work out, me being one of them. I love it. I've been here for 30 years. I have worked at the daycare for 19 and a half years. I feel like I have the right to say something for these children and these mothers who come in who just need a break so bad. We need this for them. I don't know how much I can express it to you, but if you cut these programs because you need to make the gym bigger for more machines or whatever you want to do, we cannot cut these programs. There has to be a way. If you have $4 million to spend, make another structure or something. If you're not going to, I know the rec center was going to go on the bond a few years in a row, but we can't because our city is growing so fast. We need more fire department. And we probably need more police. And you know what? I support them completely. I love our police department. I love our fire department. I believe we can solve this problem. Start bringing in good revenue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rita Law. First, thank you for finding a fiscally responsible way to address much-needed improvements to the Recreation Center while preserving resources for the future. I am here on behalf of many residents who participate in programs currently operating in the gymnasium. In your May 22nd statement to the public, you expressed interest in finding ways to maximize the use of the current gym. Respectfully, the gymnasium is already being maximized. The gym currently supports several children and youth programs, both boys and girls gymnastics, from early childhood to advanced, including several competitive teams, as well as tumbling, cheer, ninja classes, and other programs that serve hundreds of American Fork children. These programs are growing, generate significant revenue for the city, and require specialized equipment that cannot be relocated to any other space in the facility. No other location has an uninterrupted area for the spring floor, clearance for the uneven bars, or the capacity to accommodate as many classes simultaneously as the gymnasium, while still being able to close the partition and allow other sports at the same time. Unlike these programs, which have only one space where they can operate, the city has already provided an abundance of alternative locations throughout the community for traditional gym activities such as basketball, volleyball, and pickleball. Repurposing the gym would replace numerous programs that add substantial revenue and have no alternative with activities that already have other places to operate, serve far less residents at one time, and add no additional funds. Repurposing the gym would not increase participation revenue or access. Instead, it would greatly reduce or eliminate the current programs serving hundreds of local families and remove affordable opportunities that many children would not otherwise have. Reducing access to underrepresented sports and the revenue it provides is not an improvement. Furthermore, when programs specifically dedicated to children and youth are gone or relocated to a space that drastically reduces their capacity, families will not buy family memberships. We ask the council to ensure the gymnasium's current use is preserved now and continue supporting children and families for as long as that building stands. We also ask for transparency from city administration for input.
My name is Alina DeGroff, and I come at this gymnastics team from two perspectives. So my sister grew up going to the rec center. She did gymnastics all the way to level 9 in her senior year of high school at Utah Twisters. She's not here because she was actually judging nationally for the association we judge for. So I judge for the National Gymnastics Association of Utah, and I judged across the country also. And Twisters gymnastics program is fantastic. Besides the fact that it supports so many children, I just judged a meet last week in Cedar City and they swept the podium. I actually had a coach come to me and say, wait, they're a rec gym? That doesn't make, how does that work? We have our own private facility. So besides the fact that they bring a lot of money in for the rec center, they truly are making impacts. They are making waves. These are gymnasts who are going on to bigger gyms to do better things. And for the affordable cost, it's crazy what they've managed to do with it. A lot of people have left Twisters and gone to other gyms and have quit gymnastics because it doesn't have the same atmosphere and vibe, and they're doing something truly special with what they have. I also learned to judge. I never did gymnastics. My older sister did. She was like, you should learn to judge with me. I competed in an adult gymnastics meet 2 years ago, my very first one. Super embarrassing, but super fun. And Twisters was so supportive of that. They brought me in and they said, yeah, be on our team, wear our warm-ups. They are always super inclusive, and they bring something to the community that a lot of other people can't bring. So this program, it would be really unfortunate if it was let go of. And if it was relocated, like they said, they just could not compete at the level they're competing at. And competitive gymnastics is where they make the majority of their money, as far as I'm aware. But there are many gyms throughout the state who also would be willing to fight for this program with them. The two main people who run the Twisters gymnastics program are friendly as can be, and they've made contacts with the 6 or 7 gyms who compete. There's gyms in Wyoming who would come to stand up for them. So just know that Twisters has a lot of people behind them, and they're a program that deserves to stay.
Hi, Daniel Soroka. When I reviewed the budget, I noticed that there was an increase of around $600,000, which is a 9% increase to our property taxes. Even though this increase is large, it is not large enough for the upcoming civil lawsuits that our city is about to face because of the misconduct of our police department. Our police department in March went on a crusade against an individual, and he now has legal rights to sue this city. That is going to be our taxpayer dollars that are going to have to pay for that. The police chief then went on a media release and lied to the public. He stated that the individual did not complete a traffic stop or did not complete a stop sign complete stop, but when reviewing the video evidence, they did. He said that when this individual was trying to serve court papers, which is his civil right, that when the police reviewed the court papers, they said that they had already been served, which was a lie. They had not been. The police swatted this individual, arresting 5 people without any arrest warrants, and then took 4 of them who they did not even know the identity of into custody, one of them being a minor, which they pointed a gun at. This is unacceptable conduct of the police department. When Paul took office, he said, "I am extremely committed to ensuring our community members are proud of their police department and their officers." I am not proud of my police department officers. In fact, seeing this conduct, I am in fear of standing here with seeing if there's any retribution that they might bring on me. Because that is what they did to this individual. And if they are willing to do that to them, they are willing to do that to me and to anyone else. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Carol Vell. Apparently, I maybe got some misinformation, but Christine, we went to the Planning Commission and spoke there, and then Christine texted me on Thursday as I was asking what my next steps were, and she said that you have a public comment period for anybody
Yes.
general.
And that might be more directed if it's not towards the budget, it's coming up, if it's something outside of the budget.
Yeah.
But
Did I
you
come
can
up
almost-
later then?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're fine.
Hi, so my name is Brielle Anderson, and I live in the property 958 West, 420 South. It's the new one, kind of near the American Fork Frontrunner Station. And I guess I'm not sure if this is like the budget area to be chiming in with over this, but the road that connects to that entire community, there's only one road, and it's 200 South. And after today, I'm sure most of you are aware of that massive fire that took place right next to the freeway, and ash and smoke covering the whole community, and they had to close off one road, so there's only one outlet and inlet. If that fire had spread, our community would have been trapped because there is not another road at all for thousands of homes. It's just the one. So I'd like to suggest to the city that there be more push into putting some infrastructure in that area. We've had lots of new development back there and nothing's being done. There's not any new access points. So I would just like to push that we have additional roads put in. There's been talk of expanding that road, but before that one road can be expanded or be closed, we need to have additional roads put in. We're just surrounded by 2 farms on the 2 sides. We need some roads that go through there. Otherwise, we're trapped. And today was very scary with my children, knowing there were tons of people. If we all tried leaving at the same time, people would have ended up dead if it turned into a serious fire situation. It's all condos right there at the beginning. Those caught fire, that would spread like crazy into those townhomes, home to home to home, with no way to get out. So I would like this to be taken seriously, and I don't know if it's part of that area of the budget or not with the transportation.
So You know what, we're going to have another public comment period that's maybe if you think out, it's about, you know, I feel like there's a theme here. I'm seeing medals, I'm hearing the medals, I'm seeing kids. I'm going to say, if you're here and you've heard the people advocate for keeping this gymnastic program, very concerned about the rec center and the direction of the rec center, and I would say that you kind of agree with the sentiments that have been stated tonight, I want you to raise your hand because I think it's going to be children. I just want to take a hand. Carolyn, can you do a count for us? I want for the public comment because I'm thinking these kids probably don't dare get up, but we want you being here tonight to count, and then we'll put on the public record how many people are here. How many? 31. Okay. Thank you. Okay. All right, we'll now move on to the second item in the public hearing. We're here to receive public comment on the American Fork City fiscal year 2027.
Mayor, will you close the public hearing for item number 1?
Okay. Okay, we're closing the item number 1, and we'll move on to item number 2. So we're moving from the budget, fiscal year 2027 budget. There's item number 2, receive public comment on the American Fork City fiscal 2027 executive municipal officers compensation. And this would be July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027. Anybody that would like to comment specifically on this portion of the budget? Okay, seeing none, we'll close that portion of our budget, of the public hearing. We'll move on to item number 3. We're here to receive public comment on the vacation of a portion of a public utility easement at 1032 East, 1060 North. We invite you to come forward at this time if you have a comment on this item. Okay. All right. Seeing none, we will close the public hearing and we'll move on to our regular session. Okay, we'll start with item number 1, the Pledge of Allegiance, after which we'll have an invocation by Council Member Holly, and then I will conduct the roll call. If everybody would please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Father in heaven, we're thankful to be gathered here this day to meet as a city council in this beautiful building and to discuss the affairs and matters of the city that we live in. We're thankful for the opportunity to serve, and we're thankful for all the residents who are here today and who are willing to voice their opinions, their thoughts and ideas, and we ask Thee to bless us as city staff and as a council and mayor with the wisdom and the willingness to hear what is being presented to us, and that we will also seek a spirit of unity, both as residents and as city officials, that we will come together even with our differing opinions and be unified as we move forward to build the city that we live in. And we are thankful for all those who serve in the military. We're thankful for our public safety personnel, the men and women who day in and day out put their lives on the line to keep us safe and to protect the residents. And we're thankful for the liberties that we have. We're thankful for this beautiful country that we live in and to have the opportunity to celebrate 250 years of this blessed nation. And we ask Thee that we will continue to work hard and make the sacrifices necessary so that we'll have many years of freedom in the future. We ask for Thy guidance always, and we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. The prayer. And now I'll conduct the roll call. Councilmember Hunter.
Here, Mayor.
Councilmember Holly. Councilmember Carroll? Councilmember Taylor?
Here.
Okay. We'll now move on to item number 2. This is time where we set aside to hear from the public. We set about 20 minutes aside. We would ask you, as you come forward, if you would like to make a public comment, to limit it to 2 minutes. I do have some on a sheet, and I'm going to start with this. I would again remind you that we are here to listen and to understand. And the only way we can do that is to hear from you. So with that being said, I am going to take a couple, and I'll just read your name. Daniel Soroka. Okay, you did. I didn't see that one, Daniel. Thank you. Jolie Manus.
Mayor, sorry, we need to turn on that mic.
That mic on. Is it too close?
Hi, my name is Jolie Manus. I've been going to the Rec Center gym for 10 years and have just finished my 9th year competing on the Twisters gymnastics competition team. I would like to share with you why this program has meant so much to me and why I would love the opportunity to continue being a part of this gym. I'm homeschooled, so I don't see a lot of other girls my age other than my teammates. They're a very big part of why I come to gymnastics 3 days a week. They're the best support, especially when I've had a hard time learning a skill. They always cheered for me even when I didn't make it. I love gymnastics because it teaches me new things, not just skills, but about myself, my teammates, and my coaches. One of the things gymnastics has taught me is to never give up, even when it's hard, even when it hurts. My coaches definitely helped with learning that. They were the ones that kept telling me to get back up and do the skill, and then were there when I needed help and when I didn't need help, and I was just in my head. Another thing gymnastics has taught me is that if I let the voice in my head win, then I'm not going to do it, and I'm going to regret it. My team and my coaches are my support. My gym is a safe, friendly place where we can joke, fail, have fun, and do the thing we love. Thank you.
Thank you, Jolie. All right, Rita, I have one on 2 lists on you. Are you good not to? Okay. All right, we'll now move on to Alma DeGraff. You did. Okay. Carol Bell, now is the time.
I just recently had surgery, so I couldn't read it, and so I asked my daughter, and she said, no, there's not a public one, so I thought, oh, boy. Okay, do I have to push anything?
Nope.
Okay. City Council and Mayor, thank you for your service. My name's Carol Bell. You guys received a petition with 28 signatures on it regarding the future properties along 300 North. And I'd like to address 3 specific issues raised in that petition. The continuation of 200 North Road, the appropriate zoning designation for the affected properties, and I'm sorry, my surgery's kind of done some paralyzing. The preservation of a residential buffer zone along the south side of 300 North. We've lived on 300 North for 40 years. When we annexed into the city, we had a lot of discussions about the road 200 North, and in 2008, the city approached us regarding an easement for the extension of 200 North. We weren't offered any compensation for this 3,600 square feet of our property, but they asked us if we would like to have the road and back there, and we said, yeah, we want the road. So they took an easement on it. We've never been informed when or why the planned extension of 200 North was removed from the city map, but I saw various maps with 200 North on it. Despite all the years of discussion and on that property. So we just would like to respectfully ask that you read over our petition, that you restore the planned extension of 200 North, that you preserve the residential buffer along the south side of 300 North, as has always been the zoning rule, that buildings don't extend all the way out onto 300 North on that south side. Yeah.
Thank you, Carol. Tom Lemke?
Tom Lemke, I'm a resident along 300 North there. I'd like the city to maintain their original and current zoning along 300 North, north of the hospital, which requires a residential buffer zone between it and commercial interests to the south. I have a letter here from one of the residents. She couldn't be here today, so I'll just read what she has to say. She says, "My husband and I have lived at 1195 East 300 North for 5 years now. We are directly across the street from where the hospital wants to direct all their traffic. We have 2 young kids that enjoy playing outside and 2 dogs that we take for walks along the road. If the property across from us is fully rezoned to allow the hospital to move forward, then we will be pushed out due to safety concerns. Our neighbors will be pushed out for the same reason. We have several families with young kids and several with dogs as well. The safety of the citizens in the area should take priority over a business wanting to expand. I feel it would be appropriate to rezone the back half of the land to allow them to do some work, but the front half that is against 300 North should stay residential to allow the buffer to stay in place." And that's, thank you, Caitlin Lately. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, Cindy Miller. Cindy Miller? Oh, okay.
That's Cindy Miller. I want to just address the portion of the petition for notification for the properties on 300 North that has to do with the notifications for all of these residents that live on 300 North. I've lived in American Fork for 36 of my 49 years. Recently moved back to American Fork from Pleasant Grove 2 years ago almost. But in talking to these neighbors that live on 300 North and elsewhere, many of us are not receiving these notifications that they are saying have been mailed out. I'm not sure what the disconnect is there. They are saying that you can look online and see what the coming agendas are. I've looked online. They say that there will be an open house about zoning on June 24th, but that's kind of up in the air. It is not on any of the city calendars. We've looked and looked and could not find it. We spent a good hour or so on the phone calling to get a hold of somebody to find out if this would be happening or if it wasn't. Also, so many people, if this is going to be happening, so many people are out of town during the summer for vacations, for festivals, for all sorts of things. It might not be the best time, but those of us on this petition, we feel like Utah Code Section 1020-205 is not being followed as far as getting our notice first-class mail about these changes, along with posting signs on our properties or the properties that will be affected. I think that needs to happen. I think if we're not getting the mailing, if we have signs posted on the fence, whatever, we're going to notice those. We're going to see that something's going to be happening, not only on the houses that are going to be affected, but on the houses within 300 to 600 feet of us on one side. I mean, our area is really Pleasant Grove and American Fork, so we're probably not because they're not right on the board. And we'll still.
Thank you, Cindy.
So, can like Carol said, John Bell as well. Continuing on what Carol said, consider a more flexible zoning, that's what the whole issue about the hospital, buying land, petitioning to rezone the hospital, and at the same time, residents along 300. So consider a more flexible zoning designation for these properties rather than limiting them exclusively to professional office zoning. Potential alternatives could be mixed-use development, senior housing, assisted living, or other compatible uses that provide reasonable flexibility while remaining compatible with the current surrounding neighborhood. A narrowly defined professional office designation may significantly limit the practical use and value of the properties that are affected along 300 North. So then my mom also wants to say we can appreciate the city's considerations. I mean, these are tough decisions, especially with the hospital that they legally buy the land, and respectfully request that the long-standing plans, commitments, and neighborhood protections associated with this area be maintained, because that's what this is about, is the protecting of the rights of the people in that neighborhood, because what is the soul of the city? It's not the hospital that comes and, they progress, they grow, they buy, and then they petition or gerrymander or whatever the city. It's the people in the city that provide the soul of the city. The people that live along 300 North, that they bought those properties and they want to maintain that buffer zone along those properties. They want to maintain their livelihood, the protection of their kids. They want to go take the walks, and they don't want it to be like a thoroughfare for the hospital. And the soul of the city, the people of the city, should not be a financial problem. Just submit that for your to buffer zone or zoning designations.
Thompson? She left. Chris? And Tara? Chris, sorry. Chris Hubbard, I'm here trying to use the American Fork Police Department complaint system. It is deficient. When submitting outcomes, the message says it was received, but you have no confirmation, record of your filing at all. It doesn't fall if you have no proof of complaint. If your submission, the system lists one of three. You used, you left a field blank, unsupported browser. Tell you which words were unacceptable. The field was left empty. Browser you're supposed to use. Instead of returning you to your computer to make changes, it sends you to start all over again, guessing. Filing an online complaint against the American Fork Police Department is less an administrative process and more a game of chance. This isn't a minor technical inconvenience. A complaint system that doesn't provide proof of submittal, doesn't tell you how to fix errors, and destroys your work when you violate unspecified rules, that is a system that fails the public it's supposed to serve. I'm asking the council to fix this. Specifically, provide a confirmation email, including the full text of the complaint and a traceable complaint number. Provide detailed error messages and return users to the filled out form when they need to make changes. These are basic, solvable problems. The First Amendment guarantees the right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. The current online complaint system chills that fundamental right. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. All right, Alex Sabin.
The American Fork Police Department is fond of saying we do things differently here, and they're right. We saw it with the Cody Greenland case where institutional self-protection outweighed constitutional rights. And we see it here today as they have weaponized public records to manipulate narratives and shield themselves from scrutiny. When rights are violated and trust is broken, I think of the wise words the artist's grandson said. Our thoughts, our prayers can't bring back what's no longer there. The silent are damned. Just having thoughts and prayers won't fix this. It is time for this council to do something differently. Stop shielding the AFPD and initiate a formal, independent, third-party audit. It is your responsibility to fix this department. Our rights are not optional, and the status quo is no longer acceptable. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Greg Hazard.
Mr. Bunker, did you have a chance to distribute that?
No, you just gave that to me at the front end.
Okay.
Just go ahead, you can tell them about it.
Okay. Before my time starts, there's 2 letters from Chief Paul that Mr. Bunker will distribute to you, as well as a letter from Channel 13 News in 2024. My name is Greg Hazard. Good evening, Mayor Frost, as well as City Council. I am uniquely qualified. I'm a former vice principal, school teacher, special ed teacher, and I'm uniquely qualified to address the City Council today. Unfortunately, I'm the victim of 2 scenarios in which Chief Paul has graciously apologized on behalf of the City of American Fork, as well as the American Fork Police Department, in which I was the victim and unfairly treated in 2024, in which I feel Chief Paul is an incredible leader in our community and demands accountability and takes ownership, much like a father with his children with his subordinates. He loves them dearly and directs them, but they don't always know how to take direction and move forward. I have 2 apology letters, one of which takes place with a police officer committing a misdemeanor parking in the disabled parking stall. And when I confronted him, he invites me to speak with him, and then decides to berate the City of American Fork, and then tells me he can park here under any circumstances. And then while committing the misdemeanor, and in retaliation, trespasses me with a criminal trespass. In fear, I waited almost a year to address this with Chief Paul, who quickly took ownership and shared with me that this officer was unbecoming of an officer and was a few months prior invited to resign. That trespass ordered upon me was rescinded. In 2024, I called the American Fork Police Department when I had a trespasser that was unwilling to leave. 2 officers and a lieutenant conducted the investigation, and when the trespasser was there, one officer called me an A-word. Then, before letting the trespasser go on body camera, one officer said to the trespasser, "Well, if everything goes as planned, I'll traumatize me for you." Again, Chief Paul notes his officer is unbecoming, retaining of his officer. I love American Fork and was ready to go on YouTube with this. Ownership of Chief Paul because I love him. I'm the son of a and we need to erode public trust. I know City Mayor Frost can embrace our American Fork do just that.
Thank you, Greg. Okay, Skylar Simpson. Skylar Simpson. Could be Sampson. It's a little bit. Skylar, you here? Okay. Daniel Sirocco. That's right. Sorry, Daniel.
No, say that last name again. Is it Soroka?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me again.
Yeah, it's okay. Michelle's on here again. Let's see. Felicia Green.
You said Felicia Green, and thank you for your service. I too am speaking about the rezoning along 300 North. And last week I spoke with a member of the Planning Commission, and they said it's difficult to ascertain whether to do the zoning boundaries behind a residential home or in front along the street. And I would just suggest in that case that heavy deference is given to the property owners who have invested both finances and time and relationships in those areas. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Mark Bell?
Thank you for letting me come up. Same thing, just the buffer zone, people that have lived in those neighborhoods for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, that have just served the community, that have built families, or that have created families, raised families. Just ask that you, when you guys are making decisions, just be respectful of those that have raised their families here and not give in to big corporations or how the hospital wants it or whatever benefits them. So just, yeah, that's it. Just put yourself in those shoes of those that live there and consider those buffer zones. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I did not know there were so many bells. I haven't met you. Okay, August Hicks.
You have the sunglasses, their prescription?
Okay. Did I say your name right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Just like the month. So I'm here on similar words to the man in the suit back there. Last month, a man investigation of a company was swatted by American Fork Police Department over accusations of theft. The company in question was accused of failing to uphold contract with a client in which their $200,000 allegedly worth of collectibles were failed to be paid back upon distribution. The investigator of their efforts, which they stated were to see the collectibles either returned or the money paid for, were met with efforts from the police department to do the opposite of that. I wish to make clear that this is not an accusation of prejudice, but rather an observation into the behavior of the officers involved. Upon the investigators' arrival to have a conversation with the company manager, as is required before a civil suit, they were stopped by officers. On drive home from work, the investigator was pulled over and singled out like the man over there mentioned. Shortly after being informed that the court case and the legal process being used were real, the officers proceeded to arrest the investigator. Upon attempted delivery of court papers by an official, they were also stopped 3 separate times by the American Fork Police Department. And after the investigator set up fund to help out the owner of the collectibles during the legal process, police forces showed up to his domicile and he was held at gunpoint. The police department during this has demonstrated reckless usage of resources and responsibilities, and it has tainted faith in American Fork's ability to protect and serve. And it is my calling, as well as for a lot of people, that an investigation be conducted into the officers responsible, and if wrongdoing is found, to consider termination with replacement.
Last one I have on this list, I don't know if that have signed up. Lee Rodriguez.
So I just want to say that the eyes of Utah, the eyes of YouTube, American Fork. And stuff's happening, if people aren't aware, it's the, well, Legos that we're all familiar with. I am grateful. I am grateful and the work that they do. For the mayor, the DA, and anyone else in a position of power to look into the issue, to do your sworn duty, and to keep being amazing, wonderful officers of the law and not let this be a stain on Utah and specifically on American Fork. I know we can do better, and I will continue doing my best to support our local and law enforcement leaders in making this right and giving the world a better view of Utah. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Okay, there were some people that signed up a couple times. I just want to make sure, did I miss anybody that put their name on a list? Okay, does everybody feel heard tonight? Okay. All right. Is there, Julie, can you check back there? Is there any more signed up to make a public comment?
The list is gone.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'm going to close the public comment period, and we'll move on to item number 3, our city administrator's report. David?
I have nothing to report tonight. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. We'll now move on to council reports. Councilmember Hunter.
I just start off with thanking those that have come. We really appreciate it. I've taken a lot of phone calls from several individuals and neighbors and friends, and so we love to hear the mayor. We jokingly oftentimes will say that these chambers are often empty, and it's very common for us to have an open house or a meeting here, and there's only a couple people. We'll have hours of just empty chambers. But we appreciate the love and the passion and the commitment to the success of all the programs at the rec center and across the board, right? So thank you for being here. It's challenging I hate being in front of the microphone. I can only imagine if you're, I almost said half my age, but I'm sure that's not even remotely close, but whatever. Much younger than me. So thank you for being here. I struggle with what to say today. It's in light of everything, we're obviously taking a lot of that in. I just want to make a comment and just thank our police. I know that's maybe a challenging thing. My family, ironically, had a scenario in in the last week where our family was targeted. And I just want to publicly thank those that responded. That's my report.
Thank you for that report, Councilmember Hawley.
I'll just make a couple of quick comments, Mayor. I also appreciate the civic engagement. This is what makes the city great. This is what makes this country great. And so I appreciate everybody who has the courage to either just show up or to come here and tell about your issues, whether they seem like they're big or small. They're important to you, and we take them all very seriously. And I've taken lots of notes, and so I appreciate everybody who comes up here and makes their comment and fills our spaces and gets to listen to us. And then I'll just make one other comment. I was obviously out of the country for a month, last month, and one of the fortunate things about when you're over in Europe is you get to go to places that, I guess, fortunately we don't have here. We don't have a lot of battlefields in this country for good reasons. And so I was over in Bastogne, Belgium, and I'm sure most of y'all know that that's the scene for the Battle of the Bulge. And I walked around the fields where there's still foxholes, where men sat in these holes during the cold winter months of the 40s and fought for their lives and fought for our freedoms far, far away from home. And many of them did come home. And after I went to the area of Bastogne, I went to the American Cemetery in Luxembourg. And whenever you go to a cemetery, it's one of the most spiritual places for me that you can go to, because it's a beautiful space. They're all beautiful spaces like Arlington or any place. And they're just this perfectly manicured grass and rows of crosses or Stars of David or whatever your religious faith may be. And on one point, I think about all the thousands of men and women who never came home, and even their bodies are buried overseas. But then I think about that they're also individuals. They're people who had families. They're people who had hopes and dreams. And they were willing to give their lives far away from here so that we could meet in a place like this and we could discuss issues. And as I mentioned in the prayer, this country's been around for 250 years now, And the freedom that we enjoy do not come free. It takes a lot of sacrifice, it takes a lot of hard work, and we're going to disagree a lot about a lot of different issues. And I'm just thankful for all those who have given their lives and continue to serve in the military, and those who continue to serve in our cities and our counties and keep us safe and free. And I hope that we always appreciate that, not just around this time of year where we celebrate Memorial Day or July 4th, but just throughout the year, that we really reflect on those who sacrifice so much. So that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember John, or Councilmember Holly. Councilmember John.
Thank you, Mayor. And Tim, Councilmember Holly, thank you for your service. I agree. When you, I can't walk Gettysburg without great emotion. I've had something similar that happened to Councilmember Hunter's family, and I want to be thankful for our police department for responding. I am grateful for the comments you make. We do take them serious. We do listen. I personally have gotten hundreds of emails, sometimes a day, and I want you to know I can't respond to them all, but I have read every single one. And I'm grateful for most of the comments in there. It's really hard when some of them are very profane, and but I've still read them. And